Hello, my name is Muhammad Akbar, and today I'm gonna show my summary about semantic and pragmatic. And let's talk about semantic. Semantic is the subfield of linguistics dealing with conventional or literal meanings of the words and sentence and the relation between linguistic expression and their denotation. Semantic concern itself with giving a systematic account of a nature of meaning. Semantic is concerned with word and sentence. And let's talk about pragmatic. Pragmatic is a subfield of linguistics which studies additional meaning of the word, phrase, and full sentence, but in a rather different way than semantic. It concentrates more on contextual or situational meaning, or where the speakers intend to mean more or rather opposite or different from what they actually say. It focuses on the context of utterance, where, how, and when the speech is uttered. This where, how, and when are the factors which add more meaning to a speech. And pragmatic is the study of speaker meaning and the language used. Pragmatic is to the speaker meaning and the language in use, and the goal of pragmatics is to explain how the gap between sentence meaning and the speaker's meaning is breached. And pragmatic attempts to analyze how it happened that often more is communicated than said. And let's talk about the context of utterance. I don't know how to pronounce, I pronounce utterance. Utterance is the phenomenon when someone's speech act occurs, which is when a person, he or she, utters or speaker a sentence. Since it includes two persons, one the speaker and on the other the hearer. And it depends upon the convention and condition present at the time of a speech act being performed. And along these conditions come up the primary knowledge and the causes behind the perform of act. So the context of utterance constitute upon the speaker, hearer, sentence, and utterance. And let's talk about the similarities between semantic and pragmatic. Pragmatic first is pragmatic. Pragmatic and semantic, even being different in a part from one another, are two subfields of linguistics and also two levels of language analysis. And the part deal with language meaning and link language to them word. Each of them deal with meaning differently, but yet many cause both the fields get confused and amalgamate. And the only apparent similarity is that the focus of both is meaning, and but the ways are different. And semantic concern itself with the meanings, the logical, grammatical, or lexical meaning of a sentence or a phrase, and meanwhile pragmatic concern itself with the use of language, practically, contextually, and behaviorally. And however, both the domains are entirely relate to one another, with pragmatic to get the deeper meaning as the instance. Like, he got a book as a prize. In this sentence, we just go semantically. We can determine who who has been given the prize, but pragmatically, well, come to understand that this is some person, whether a child, adult, and senior citizens, who has been mentioned before in this sentence by his actual name, and now he is being referred using a deictic types of what can be understood just with the help semantic. We have to go help of semantic. We have to get help from pragmatic to find the correct meanings. And however, how much similarities there may be between them, but there is always a tension between these two fields of linguistics. Usually, the pragmatic argue that semantics don't give complete or inner meaning of utterance, and the difference between semantic and pragmatics is based on theory of science by Carlos W. Morris, shows us clearly the difference between these branches by showing how can we deal with sign meaning, meaning from a semantic dimension and the pragmatic dimension. The semantic dimension refers to the relation of word which they refer. Meanwhile, a pragmatic dimension to the relationship between words, the interlocutors, and context. But started that viewing the difference between semantic and pragmatic through their implementation rather than a description in plain word. And semantics have a narrow scope because they deal with the text only and analyze the meaning of word as then combine to constitute meaningful sentence. And pragmatist work has a wider approach beyond the text itself and consider the facts surrounding the utterance as the contextual factor. And social knowledge of the context speakers intended meaning and the hearer inference. And consequently, the meaning of utterance is not dependent on the context in semantic, while it is in pragmatic. Certain expression can be understood if not put in context as the use of sentence, like it hit me, by have many different meaning according to usage in conversation. It could mean it become apparent to me either what the correct meanings of the sentence require the knowledge of the context is which is used. And the conclusion of this summary is, as it apparent that semantic and pragmatic are both sub-branches of the fields of linguistics, yet being from the same domain of knowledge, they are very distinct from one another, and except one major similarity that both branches basically deal with meaning. And as you have been shown by this presentation, that several research and theory presented by scientists and philosophers have highlighted the line of difference between the two subfields, such as Mori theory of sign and batch analysis, Gray's theory of implicator, and as the final verdict of Leach and 2019-80, curving the line further. And maybe that's all about my summary about pragmatic. I'm sorry if I have mistakes and some misleading information too. And I will end this. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.